If you're feeling a little bit stuck, if you're feeling a little bit frustrated about your ability to be able to manifest, then you are definitely in the right place. Because what I am going to share with you today is the essential second law of manifesting miracles, which is make it physical. I'm Edward Francis Gordon, and I'm here to guide you through this epic adventure of unlocking the power to turn your deepest passions into an actual physical reality. And listen, like myself, I know that many of you are struggling with this. In fact, what we've seen in our clinic is that over 92% of people fail to actually really create and manifest the life they truly desire. And that's such an unnecessary travesty, isn't it? Because you have the power within you. You know it's in there. That's why you don't give up. That's why you keep trying. But fear not, because today we're going to help you to bust through these chains that have been holding you down since you were a kid and unlock the power to create an absolutely epic rewrite in your story. So what we also want to break through today is one of the main myths of manifesting miracles, which is that massive action equals success. What? That's a myth? Everybody talks about taking massive action. However, what you're going to discover today is that sometimes when you're taking massive action, it can actually make things harder. Okay, awesome. But listen, before we dig in, let's just go ahead and take a moment to create some real powerful momentum. Because imagine the empowerment that you would feel by being able to break through what you've been unable to break through before. And take a second and just really imagine that. All these things that have been holding you down, and you're breaking through them for the first time in your life. And imagine how good it'd feel to be able to lead by example, to help the people you love do the same. And really feel this. Let this vision, let this possibility begin to really carry you into an empowered state. Okay, fantastic. Really breathe that in. And listen, stick around till the end too, because I'm going to share with you a really simple hack that you can use to really take your vision and embody it, bring it into an actual physical level. And you're going to make sure that you want to stick around for that, all right? Okay, we built this incredible momentum, and let's go ahead and start to dive into the good stuff. Back in 2018, I got super sick. And I was bowled over with all this fear, with all this anxiety, and that overwhelm actually forced me to move inward and become really, really still. And it was within that stillness that I was able to gain access to the first law of manifesting miracles, which is gain access to something greater than yourself. And when I made that connection, it widened my vision. I was able to see what I had been unable to see before, and what I saw was the current, this flow the master creator uses to go from nothing to something. This incredibly powerful potential to be able to manifest. So one of the first things that I did to make this easier was I overlaid that flow, that current onto a model. And the first model that I used was the flow of chi, because I'm a 20-year acupuncturist and I use this every single day. But then when I overlaid it onto that model, a crazy thing happened. I started to really see that the nervous system sits on the pathway from nothing to something. And this is really important, because what that means is that the nervous system is like an integration point to where that could be anything, pure potential, begins to take on a physical manifestation. Because what lives in the nervous system? Well, you've got all the peripheral nerves that allow you to move. You've got the spinal cord and you've got the brain. And what lives in the brain? You've got thoughts, you've got memories, and you've got subconscious programs. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Subconscious programs, all those old patterns, all those old limitations you've been carrying around since you were a kid, and they're sitting on this pathway from nothing to something. So moving back to the chakra system, you can see that they're sitting down in these low 3 centers. This represents the part of the current that is becoming more formed. This upper part is formless, this lower part is formed. So the nervous system is sitting down here, and what happens is it's acting like a lens that takes the vibrational frequency of that could be anything, and it individuates those frequencies to become an individual reality. Now, this is so important because what you realize is that your subconscious programs are an integration point to where the all that is begins to take on that first physical something. That the subconscious programs as this lens that is creating your reality are running the show. So the bottom line is, if you don't change that lens of the subconscious, you're not going to be able to shift your physical reality. You're not going to be able to rewrite your story, let alone create miracles. And then I began to realize this really powerful truth, that the actions that I was taking were actually compensatory for those beliefs that created the reality to begin with. Because I remember back when I was doing food cures when I got sick, I was drinking this really incredible vibrant juice and I was like, glug, glug, glug. Oh, I'm telling myself I'm sick. Do you hear what I'm saying? I wasn't juicing before I got sick. Why am I juicing now? Because I am ill. The subconscious beliefs, the programs, creating that reality and the actions that I was taking were actually reinforcing the belief system that created it to begin with. Because what this means is that you're stuck on this hamster wheel. You've got an idea of what you want to create, but you're telling yourself that you don't have it. And this is why the myth of taking massive action equals success does not always work. As a matter of fact, over 90% of the time, it doesn't. Because the more action that you're taking, the more you're reinforcing that belief system that created it to begin with. This was when I realized as a 20-year practitioner why really good people that are taking the right actions still get worse and worse and worse. The harder they try, the worse it gets. Because they're running into those old programs. They're reinforcing and rebuilding that belief system, that lens that actually created that reality to begin with. And this really, really hit me because I always believed I had the power to heal myself. And when I was doing these events before COVID, I would always ask these rooms full of people, how many people in here believe they can heal themselves? And every single person would raise their hand every single time. And how about you? Do you believe you have the power to heal yourself? Then why can't you do it? Because when I got bowled over with all that fear and the anxiety, it revealed the simple, undeniable truth that I didn't really believe that I could do it. Now listen, the lens is creating your reality. So if I don't believe I can heal myself, I am not going to be able to. This is when I realized I was in trouble. So what happens when you want to start to manifest is this is you down here. And we're going to say that you got this cart that's full of all these things that you want to manifest into your life. And you're trying to bring them all the way into the subconscious because we've already established that if you don't change the lens of the subconscious, you're not going to be able to recreate your reality. However, you run into these guys. And these guys are the guards at the gate that are holding the limiting I am statements that say that you can't do it. Because remember, I was bowled over with all that fear and that anxiety. So on that list of statements that said I couldn't do it, one of them was, I can't heal myself. I don't have the power. I'm not strong enough. Maybe I don't deserve to. All those limiting beliefs that were locking me out from being able to change the subconscious lens and actually manifest. This is why over 92% of people fail to be able to manifest the life they truly love. Because they're stuck on that hamster wheel. They're running into the guards at the gate that are holding all those limiting I am statements. They won't let you in. So one of the things that I began to understand as I was working through this unraveling, this revealing of this empowerment was that your negatives hold all this power in them, don't they? Because think about some limitation, something that's been pushing you down. And think about everything that has been created in your life. All the choices that you made. All the opportunities that were lost. All the things that you didn't create. all the biochem and the emotions of feeling regret and sadness and loss? And is there power in that story that has been created by that negative? Absolutely. So what if you could take all that power that was stuck in that negative, tons and tons of power, and actually unlock it? And actually use that power to create the positive? Because I remember one day, I was so mad at my ex-business partner. Oh, I was just so mad. And yeah, I could jump up and down and do my techniques and get rid of that anger. And it'd be like, okay, anger's gone. But now what do I have? Nothing, zero, right? Back at square one, starting over. However, if you can take that power and release it and reuse it, there's so much availability to create even more amplified change. Because if I took that anger, oh, I'm so angry, and I was able to turn it into love with that same power. Do you hear what I'm saying? When I realized that, it really set me back. I was like, whoa. Wow, love with that power, love. I was like, man, I don't even know if I've ever felt love that strong. That was when I really began to understand that all these negatives, all these limitations are part of this current, part of this flow that is giving me the opportunity to create these incredible paradigm shifts. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to change those negatives into positives? Well, you're going to go back to the first law of manifesting miracles, aren't you? Gain access to something greater than yourself. You're going to let that higher awareness, you're going to let that is beyond your limitation turn it for you. Because as you're moving through these polar opposites, you've got the one in the crown. You've got the many in the root. You've got perfect stillness in the crown, perfect movement in the root. And you've got perfect effortless in the crown and perfect effort in the root. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because in the crown, the all that is, there's nothing to do. It's all perfect potential. It's effortless. And then coming all the way down to the physical, it's pure effort, isn't it? Every breath is effort. Every heartbeat is effort. You live in perfect effort. So when you're coming up to the crown center, gaining access to something greater than yourself, you're gaining access to that state of effortless. Big G does it for you. This is why all the three laws are interdependent and equally essential. Because you're needing to use that vibration greater than yourself to give you the power to turn that negative, to turn that limitation into a positive, into limitless possibility. And the second law, just like the first law, is one of the key pieces in all the transformational work in Flow Empowerment System. Even in the 3-breath breakthrough, this is one of the core aspects where we're taking that negative, we're using the breath work to breathe it up, connect with something greater than yourself. Let Big G turn it for you. But then when you're bringing that positive all the way back down into the physical, that breath work is accessing the nervous system to help you to reprogram and reinstall, because we're using breath retentions. And what the breath retentions do is create a survival level reflex loop. It puts the body in survival mode, and that is very, very effective for being able to reprogram. Because think about a soldier who's in that survival level reflex loop. There's all these bangs and booms going on around them, and they're in survival mode, and what happens? Those noises program, that situation programs so powerfully that when they hear that noise again, boom, they're right back in it. They have a flashback. That's how powerful using survival level reflex loops are to not only break the old patterning, but to reinstall a new one. And listen, if you haven't already gone through the 3-breath breakthrough, go down to the description below, click on that link, sign up and show up. It's such a fantastic way to start to incorporate all 3 of these laws of manifesting miracles, and it gives you the power to start to be able to break through almost any limitation in just 3 breaths. Super powerful stuff. That being said, let's go ahead and start to dig into the technique that I use every single day, the simple hack, to start to allow me to come into that idea of being present, the idea of actually beginning to embody that shift and that change at a physical level. However, before we do that, give that subscription button some love. Like this video. Leave a comment on what's working, on what's not, aha moments, what your challenges are, so that we can create more videos to help with your specific questions. Helping us is helping you. Helping you is helping the people you love and helping the people of the world. And that is what Epic Rewrite and the Flow Empowerment System is all about, is creating fundamental paradigm shift, not only for you, not only for us, but for the world as a whole, okay? So again, what are we talking about in the second law of manifesting miracles? Make it physical. Bring it all the way down at a cellular level. This means the actual physical cells in your muscles are moving differently. You're seeing things from a different perspective. You're speaking differently. Neurons in the brain are realigning so that you have new awareness, new insight. So you've already accessed the first law of manifesting miracles. You've got a new vision. You've got an amplified access to be able to manifest. Now you're bringing this new vision down. And as you bring that down and all the way into the root, the hack that I use every day is to actually start to move it. So let's say you're like really broke and you're going to manifest being financially abundant. Well, who are you when you're really broke? How are you moving when you're really broke? Let's say I'm kind of moving like this. I've got this movement. This is how I'm walking. My head's down a little bit. This is how I'm expressing the reality that I am broke, that finances are hard, things are difficult. But who am I going to be if all of a sudden I have this incredible financial abundance? If all of a sudden I've stepped into this awareness, I'm empowered, I'm living it, I'm being the change for my people. You can see just as I'm even saying these words, that my body's beginning to shift. I'm beginning to own it. So what I do is after I'm going through this process of reinstalling, whether I'm using the 3-breath breakthrough or using one of the other flow empowerment techniques, is once it starts to come into the physical, I'm feeling it at the cells, I'll begin to very, very slowly move differently. So even moving a finger, but moving a finger as if you are this person, moving your finger in a way you've never moved it before. In this example, this person is completely financially abundant, completely empowered, and the hand moving in this new way and becoming very, very present of what this feels like to be this person, and feeling the muscles and feeling the cells and feeling the breath beginning to move differently through the body. Feeling the electric current beginning to flow differently through the nerves. Slowly integrating and allowing that vibration to come all the way down to the cellular level. And slowly beginning to speed things up. Increasing that integration. And if you start to come out of it, if you start to go back into the mind, losing present awareness, just stop. Take a breath. Tune back into that that's greater than yourself. Allow yourself to be that change. And then start to move very slowly again as this person who's living this truth. Being the change, speed it up. When I do my practices, I begin with this slow integration. And then I will immediately get up and start some movement. I'll do some Qigong, or I'll do some mindful meditation walking, or I'll do some yoga very, very slow and feeling every muscle in my body beginning to embody this new vision, embody this new story. And I'm going to tell you what, there's an incredible thing that happens when you're actually able to embody it at a cellular level. That's going to really give you the power to be able to help your people in an even more powerful way. And we're going to talk about that in the third law of manifesting miracles. Because again, taking actions is reaffirming the subconscious beliefs. So you have to be able to move into a way to actually be able to break through, to be able to bridge that higher awareness all the way down to the physical reality. And what we're going to talk about in the third law of manifesting miracles is how to use all these stepping stones in between to give you access to get that done. Okay, so again, give that subscription button some love, like this video, leave a comment, and we're going to see you on the third law of manifesting miracles.